me mix a couple breed up. Can't stand it when some boy go the seed up. Me no do that we get cheap up. Me say herb, what we a prefer. Them a juggle it on the pastry curb. And the youth a say weed is life, weed is reality. Smoke the weed every day. Don't smoke the seed, no way. Smoke the weed, hey, smoke the weed. Burn like Baba, you've them a supper. Dance them a pop off hot like the summer. You can never understand why we live to life. You would never recognize unless you see the fire in my eyes. I'm burying a man like every single day. Black birds in the sky, can't get a break. The smoke is my gun, that's how I blow them away. Music is my weapon, rewind and let it play. Babylon, Tiffany, signs like the whole day. They call me Snoop Lion, I smoke every day. We keep planting these seeds, watch them grow up, new breed, cultivating these trees. The cycle carries on. And it don't stop. The tick-tock of the universal clock to the bang-bang boogie of the life streaming through me in the slow that way while we procreate. Smoke the weed every day. Don't smoke the seed, no way. Smoke the weed, hey, smoke the weed.
Listen. Visit minus ReggaeRoundUp.
Spanish sound grand spend, come on, uptown.
Can you hear me now?
Party, all party, all party,
Alright then.
Tune up your volume.
Massive and grown.
You're not the ass who is man a yardie.
Visit
I'm at around my name, easy to find at any convenience store.
more than radio.
Here it comes.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
Break down.
city life. Make sure you know the street. Hungry dogs, they are road and them a look food to eat. City life, where friends become foe and people get missing without. City life, city life, city life, city life. It's not a nice life. Alright, well, city life. Make sure you know the street. Hungry dogs, they are road and them.
Against our brother man, yes. We seem to be losing all the love that we used to know. Well, have we lost our culture? Because it doesn't really seem to show. I said it's time for some cultural love. And yes, my love in me African blood. And every youth to every man should know how his roots and his origin go. Give me the roots and culture. roots and culture. Roots and culture. And anytime I think about Marcus Messiah Garvey, he often reminds me of where I'm coming from. And anytime I hear the Honorable Bob Marley, yes, his words and his wiseness has been going on. So from the bottom of my heart and soul, I'm proud of my African blood. And every youth to every man should know how his roots and his origin go. Give me the roots and culture.
Yo, this is Monkey Mark, all the way from down under Melbourne, Australia, and you're listening to Reggae Roundup.
A brother man, well, it solves no problem, and they know it's wrong, know it's right. And if they stop to why and add a little understanding, yes, respect for their brothers and where they're coming from. So from the bottom of my heart and soul, I'm proud of my African blood, and every youth or every man should know how his roots and his origin go. Give me the roots and culture. Roots and culture. No man, I love the roots and culture. Roots and culture. Give me the roots and, give me the roots and. I love the roots and culture. Roots and culture. Give me the roots and, give me the roots and. I love the roots and culture.
Live from Hamburg City, this is Reggae Roundup, live and direct. Yeah, man, with a live interview, Monkey Mark from Australia. Now we're coming to a guy who's called Taiwan MC. Track is called Special. Request Mr. Babylon.
Tell me why you fight against the truth. Tell me why you want to stop me, you. Tell me why you fight against the truth. Dirty Babylon, why you try to confuse? Tell me why you fight against the truth. Why you do that? Tell me why you want to stop me, you. Tell me why you fight against the truth. Dirty Babylon, why you try to confuse? Hey, Mr. Babylon, won't you tell me what I want? Why do you fight against the truth? Hey, Mr. President, we can see the evidence. You don't care about the youth. No sympathy, only brutality. That's how you want it to be. Mr. Babylon, you kill the brave workers when them go and strike. No, you don't respect the human rights. That's why the youth are take the streets and rise. Mr. Babylon, you be sleep at night. You keep on lying. The youths them are dying. Policeman, now we don't have no respect no more. Tell me why you fight against the truth. Tell me why you want to stop me, you. Tell me why you fight against the truth. Dirty Babylon, why you try to confuse? My brother, my sister. My brother, my sister. My brother, my sister. Mr. President, why you kill all the youth? Kill all the youth who are fight for the truth. Mr. Babylon, why you are crush them? Why you are blind them? Why you are strike them? Mr. President, me say, why don't you see? Why don't you see the people, them are hungry? Them are hungry, them don't have no money. All they want is an equality. You know it is a part of your slogan. It stands along unity and freedom. So why do you fight your own nation? The children must be free. You know it is a part of the program. You should be helping the needy one. Stop lying to me. Tell me why you fight against the truth. Tell me why you want to stop me, you. Tell me why you fight against the truth. Dirty Babylon, why you try to confuse? My brother, my sister. My play? Is it because you're crazy? Is it because of me and you just can't help it? Is it part of a plan to destroy our land? Are you an evil man? Well, don't I understand? Is it because of man? Is it because you're crazy? Is it because of me and you just can't help it? Is it part of a plan to destroy our land? Are you an evil man? Why don't you give a damn? Hey, Mr. Babylon, won't you tell me what's that one? You a wicked man. Tell us what is going on. You a bad man. Tell us what is going on. Hey, Mr. President, we can see the evidence. You a bad man. You don't care about the youth, Babylon. No, you don't worry about them.
Man, something. They watch and know we good and know we sing and know. Singing Sasko alongside AJ.
Mr. Agent Cisco. Sound Boy.
Boy, I get the sound tonight.
You listen to Peace on the Radio. This is ReggaeRoundUp Reggae Wednesday. Yeah, man.
For tonight, cause oh, this session is getting hotter, and this your dancer is under fire. A lot of people want to see a sound clash tonight. So a lot of sound, boy, I gonna end up a fight, lad. Hey, so your door back, it better well stuck. And any sound, boy, none of dub them life cut off like bread back.
Kill sound, kill sound, kill sound. Hey, watch out, my man say a lot of sound boy get dust. I run on them a scatter when the big thing bust. Sit the name singing, but this a not Taurus. Stainless steel, so this a sit no carros. People that say certain selector they can't trust. Try some of them sound like shit that juggling they want flush. I one intro we play and left them unconscious. Champion sound with ratings and I must I want you.
A lot of sound, boy, I get the sound tonight.
Champion sound.
Hey, a lot of them going to suffer tonight, lad.
Big sound.
Cause this session is getting hotter, and this your dancer is under fire.
Pressure them.
Whoa.
Sound boy friend.
Hey, a lot of people going to feel good tonight. Yeah, because the juggling real good tonight, yes. Oh, in a this session, I'll hail the champion. And in a dance, we kill a jump and yeah.
Hey, watch out, I'm on some sounded, I mean say yeah, sounded. Champion sound, and me a run the sound red. Killing sound, when all the mercy sound, boy, so don't beg. Can't run out of dub with your box fully loaded. Hey, now left no survivor, everybody found it. From selector to the owner, them self-founded. But me say, all the driver pronounced it. Knock off your sound, you just dead. Tell them singer.
A lot of sound, boy, I get murdered tonight.
Murder!
A lot of them going to suffer tonight, cause oh, this session is getting hotter, and this your dancer is under fire.
Mr. Agent Cisco does a Sound Boy. Yeah, man. You listen to this on the radio. Ooh, and today we have a live interview from Mr. Monkey Mark from Australia. And here comes Conquer the Dancehall. Tenor, you man. Listen to this one.
Conquer the dancehall. Alright then. Conquer the dancehall. Conquer the dancehall. Well, if you want to conquer the dancehall. Inna the country, them want talking. Inna the town, you more come around. Inna the country, them rough and ready. Inna the town, them find a new sound. Yeah, man. like Freddy. My rider, I'm the one ride this side. Kanka, 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 kanka the dance hall. Aye, me a go kanka, 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 kanka the dance hall. Alright then, kanka, 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 kanka the dance hall. Well, me a go kanka, 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 kanka the dance hall. Tick boom them. Inna the dance hall, inna the dance hall. 1000 style there, inna the dance hall. Inna the dance hall, inna the dance hall. Too much man them back, inna the dance hall. Inna the dance hall. You must see me need to be a hero inna the dance hall. Inna the dance hall, inna the dance hall. Too much gal them back, inna the dance hall. Why you young and stubborn? You got a lot of things to learn. No time to complain and you work hard. All you will burn. If you want to kanka, 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 kanka the dance hall. Alright then. Kanka, 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 kanka the
Kanka die dansa. Tell you man.
kanka, kanka, kanka the dance hall. Well, you kanka, kanka, kanka. Kanka, kanka, kanka. Kanka, 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 kanka the dance hall. Kanka the dance hall. Yaga, 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 yaga. Yaga, 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 yaga. Yaga.
Now we have another track from Mr. Teddy Yutman. It's called Catch a Fire. Listen to this one. Nice.
I'm me, man. Catch a fire, the place catch a fire. Catch a fire, the place
Sick
catch a
rhythm.
fire. Alright, and now me come again fi spread my thoughts. Well, listen to this skinny coming big boy, yeah. Oh, catch a fire, the place catch a fire. Oh, catch a fire, the place catch a fire. Well, there is when me flame down a flow like water. Well, listen, this a song because we hot like lava. It's the reggae music big in every corner. Listen, people them a love it in California. Was originated down in Jamaica. Telling this a sound a nice up the era. You know me have to big up every entertainer who mash up every party and every station. Same time me have to big up me Bridging Wilson with it massive in a London with the one Palma. Well, let me tell you this, we are the cream of the crop. The three of we together is like a boom shaka attack. I treat the highway, we know we love it like that. But I threw me attack, you know me style can flop, yo. Catch a fire, the place catch a fire. Catch a fire, the place catch a fire. Alright, I know me come again, free spread my thoughts. But listen, this a song become me big boy, yeah. Oh, catch a fire, the place catch a fire. Catch a fire, the place catch a fire. Well, lyrics when me flame down a flow like water. Well, listen, that is skinny got me big boy, yeah. I miss a cock up every dance and every party. Say anytime me chat, me have to do it properly. Say anywhere we go promote a ball of the way. And a dibby some boy them have to follow away. Say we run things and nothing's no wrong way. Say anytime me chat it in a full quality. But follow that the skinny got me big and ready. We mash it on a country and city to city. So, catch a fire, the place catch a fire. Oh, catch a fire, the place catch a fire. But right now me come again for spread my thoughts. Well, listen, this a song because we hot like lava. Oh, catch a fire, the place catch a fire. Oh, catch a fire, the place catch a fire. Well, lyrics when me flame down a flow like water. But take it from me because me big and back. Now me say reggae music big in every corner. Listen, people them a love it in California. Was originated down in Jamaica. Reggae music make the people jump and prance. And reggae make you wine and me say reggae make you dance. We positive message in each and every song. Say reggae it in every station. Say nice up the place and the situation. So what them a go do now if stop the fire? So what them a go do now if stop the fire? Say people them a love it like that. Say no for them no know say that we big boy. And me say what them a go do now if stop the fire? Say what them a go do now if stop the fire? Say people them a love it like that. Say what them a go do when we sing bro. Oh, catch a fire, the place catch a fire. Oh, catch a fire, the place catch a fire. But right now me come again for spread my thoughts. Well listen that this skinny come me big bro. Oh, catch a fire, the place catch a fire. Hey, catch a fire, the place catch a fire. Well lyrics when me flame down a flow like water. So follow this a song because we hot like lava. Hey, warning, this are the one skinny man talking. Oh you mean boy? I mean man.
Are you ready for the B-side? Kaka, die ReggaeRoundup. Listen to this one.
All you got to do is to work hard.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the first part of the interview. Mr. Monkey Mark, producer, singer, songwriter from Australia. Listen to this one, Monkey Mark interview.
Good evening, listeners of Reggae Roundup. This is Matthias with the first interview in 2021. And today I am on Skype once again, but this time with a gentleman who is based in Melbourne, Australia. He is a producer, and his latest album is entitled Vital Sound. He released it in November of last year. And his name is Monkey Mark. So I say greetings, Mark. Welcome to Reggae Roundup. How are you today?
I'm very well. Thank you very much. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for sharing some time here with me. To get going, I would like to start right at the beginning and ask you if you can explain to us, maybe in a few words, how and where you grew up.
Yeah, I grew up initially in Cardiff in Wales in the UK, and was there until the age of 13, and then my parents emigrated to Sydney, Australia when I was 13, and then I grew up for the rest of my time in Sydney, and now these days I spend a majority of my time in Melbourne, which is in the very south of Australia, the reggae capital of Australia.
Is that true?
Yes, well, in my book, yes, but yeah, people would say that, definitely.
Okay, and were you born into a musical family? Are there other family members who are active in music or interested in music?
My dad was always really into his music. I was never really born into a musical family, but my father was a big collector of soul music and Jamaican ska and blue beat music. So I was sort of exposed to a lot of music from a young age. And living in Cardiff was a hot spot for music coming in from the USA because it was a port. So we always had the earliest records there. So whether it would have come from Jamaica or from the US with the R&B music and whatever else, it was always came through Cardiff, and then eventually ended up in my dad's record collection, which eventually ended up in my ears.
Right, and I think you have a large variety of musical influences in your own music. So before we speak about your music, can you tell us a little bit more about your musical influences? You already mentioned soul and ska, blue beat, probably also rocksteady and some reggae, I would assume. What other types of music did you come across in your life which may now play a role in your own music?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously I'm a big dub fan and a big roots reggae fan, ska fan, and have been for many years since the early days of my music career. But I'm also a big hip-hop fan, and I've actually written a lot of political hip hop music over here in Australia, and that's been a massive thing for me. And also that whole down-tempo hip-hop realm. I've written a lot of that kind of stuff. I was in kind of semi-hardcore punk bands in my younger days. I was a singer for a lot of that kind of stuff. So, punk music, hip-hop music has really had a fairly big influence on me as well as reggae music and dub music.
Right. Did I see you wearing a Bad Brains t-shirt on one of the promo pictures?
Yes, I'm a big Bad Brains fan, of course. And I mean, Bad Brains to me are the ultimate band. They started off a punk hardcore band, and they had the whole, that whole Rasta influence, and then they kind of mutated into different forms of that, and they even put out a dub album, I think, later on in their career as well. So, right. Yeah, I think my headspace was always in that kind of Bad Brains mentality.
And before we move into detail on the album, how did you get your name?
I spent a lot of time. I'm actually a geologist by trade, and geology, of course, involves rocks. And I spent a lot of time in the underground mines of the remote parts of the desert in Western Australia. And my old job before I was, a musical guy, was to go underground about 1 kilometre and to basically make an area safe for a miner to go into. And I would climb into areas where nobody else wanted to go and where no one else could climb. Hence, I became a monkey. And they initially called me a spider monkey, and then later on, because I would go to the pub after work, and then they would be like spider monkey, and then one day someone said Monkey Mark, because my name was Mark, and then it just became that. So I was the monkey, the crazy Monkey Mark that could climb anywhere where no one else wanted to climb.
So even before your musical career, you were Monkey Mark already.
Yeah, I was always Monkey Mark. Yep.
Yeah, so that's a very fitting name then for your musical project. So, but do you still work as a geologist? No, probably not, right?
No. I don't really these days. I spend most of my time, in fact, most of my time outside of this, the musical realm. I do mostly Indigenous work. I work in the remote parts of Australia in the desert on Indigenous Aboriginal Australian communities, doing mostly documenting of Indigenous knowledge, so whether it be their stories or their songs or traditional knowledge, and I also do lots of youth projects with Indigenous youth in the desert. So most of my work is community focused these days. If you don't stand up, you will die. Ask me no question, I tell you no lie. Spitting at the sky, it a go fall in your eye. What goes up, I say they must come down. Say we control over country and we march it in a town. Wriggling and you're jiggling to the champion sound. Tell you this first part of the interview. More a little bit later on. Sing loud. ReggaeRoundUp live from Hamburg City. I go take away your human rights. You know better get up, stand up, yes, get up, stand up, yes, get up, stand up and fight. Fight for justice, fight for truths and rights. Say we are mercenaries, we are jam mercenaries. Seen mercenaries, we are jam mercenaries. Say we strap and we heavy in a full military. I know nothing figure mash done. Now we're coming to a guy who's called Kill Emil. Album's called Green Line. Track is called Arise. Listen to this one. It's very nice. Listen.
Yeah. From the first to the last, the worst comes to pass. But before it gets better, I'll raise a full glass and make a toast. It ain't the money and cash. Make sure you don't want it before you throw it the trash. See, one man's loss is another man's treasure. Dropping these rhymes for pleasure. Cause when you kill like a male, then it's got to be ill. This ain't for low stakes, rip-offs or cheap thrills. We walking like we made it, my head elevated. If eyes look down, then you stumble and complicated. Think for a minute, all the positive created. Two heads better than one, this sound vibrating. No hate the player, keep your head in the game. Keep the rhythm running like a full-speed train, can't stop. It ain't easy on top. Hey yo, I'm planting the seed and I'm collecting the crop. Said we rising. the first to the last, the sound came to pass, and it only gets better with every rhyme I blast. Big flame, I'll break you like Mr. Glass. If your sound can't done, you'll get ready to clash. On the block with the #1 spinner. With your dippy sound can't come with the thinner. Fade away, can't step to the winner, y'all. Set the table, guess who's coming for dinner? I said we rising. Never fall, cause we super energizing. Keep it live, go get it, yo, we never compromising. Babylon gon' fall, yo, we always organizing. Hut 1, hut 2, hut 3, we maximizing. Rock the house. In the yard, we rock the house. Uptown, we rock the house. Kill a mill, yo, rock the house. Worldwide, rock the house. BNC, I'll rock the house. My peeps, we rock the house. Rise up, we rock the house. Rock the house. In the yard, we rock the house. Uptown, we rock the house. Kill a mill, yo, rock the house. Worldwide, rock the house. BNC, I'll rock the house. My peeps, we rock the house. Rise up, we rock the house. For sure. Rise up. We came to settle the score. Rise up. Rise up. On top. Rise up. Rise up. From the rooftop.
Another track from Mr. Killer Emil. It's called That's Why, featuring Tipper Irie. Album's called Green Line. A very nice one.
Well, you have some people work hard for them bread. Some people all a make money in a them bed. Them put in the hours and them put in the shit. So them family them can insist. Well, you have some people who just can't resist. And just can't resist now if you walk and this. And through your life, it's full of progress. And just want to kill you with stress. I'm missing, that's why we no want the way them there. And that's why we no want be where them be. And that's why we no want them pan we ends. Cause we know we and them are no friends. And we sing again. We no want the way them then. That's why. And we no want be where them be. That's why. Well, we don't want them in our place. So we no want see them show face. And we sing say them coulda married or single. With them the people there we not go mingle. Because we know them a worship evil. And we no mingle with bad mind people. Because so one laba hand. Chatty them a real mouth a massian. You coulda sweet like Jamaican patty. Me no want none of who them a passion. That's why we no want the way them dead. That's why we no want be where them be. That's why we no want them pan me ends. Cause me know me and them are no friends. And me sing again. We no want the way them dead. That's why. And we no want be where them be. That's why. And we no want them in our place. We no want see them go face. And we sing say life can already be a heavy load. That's why most of the time we the inner work mode. We no want bad mind in our postcode. We no want bad mind fi come on we road. Cause like berry salmon we a put up resistance. Make them bad mind we from a distance. Them can stay out a road and wall. We no want none of them in our car. And that's why we no want the way them dead. That's why we no want be where them be. That's why we no want them in our place. So we no want see them screw face. And we sing again. We no want the way them dead. That's why. And we no want be where them be. That's why. We no want them in our place. So we no want see them screw face. And we sing say can't deal with the bad mind. Yes, we have to leave them behind. Can't deal with the bad mind. Because them is a waste of time. Can't deal with the bad mind. Yes, me have to leave them behind. Can't deal with the bad mind. Because them is a waste of time. And me sing say we no want the way them dead. That's why. We no want be where them be. That's why. We no want them pan we ends. Cause me know me and them are no friends. And me sing again. We no want the way them dead. That's why. And me no want be where them be. That's why. We no want them in a me place. So we no want see them screw face. And me sing again. We no want the way them dead. That's why. And me no want be where them be. That's why. We no want them pan we ends. Cause me know me and them are no friends. And me sing again. We no want the way them dead. That's why. And me no want be where them be. That's why.
Kill Avio featuring Tipper Irie. That's Why. Album's called Green Line.
This
to the second part of the interview. Monkey Mark from Australia.
Pure fire in a room. Bunny down, bunny down, bunny down. Pure fire in a room. And Monkey Mark, me I tell you, this is Prince Allah, say big up on yourself. You're worthy. We come to fight the system. You're worthy. We come with fire, earthquake, word, sound and power. Fire! Dread stone, just a come, we mash down room. Dread.
Good evening, listeners of Reggae Roundup. This is Matthias with the first interview in 2021. And his name is Monkey Mark. So I say, greetings, Mark. Welcome to Reggae Roundup. Right, so what would you say if you were to say something about it in percentages? How much percent of your working life is music?
Oh, as far as my working life, I would say that because I mean, even my desert work involves music in some sort. So I would say that 90% of my life is music in some form. Which recording, music, mixing, mastering, producing, everything. Yeah, and documenting for archives. Yeah, I love sound. Basically, I love sound.
Yeah, well, so do I, and I'm sure many of our listeners as well. Now, I already mentioned that you released an album last year called Vital Sound, and a lot of different tracks on this album, and I would just like to mention a couple of names because you have sort of old school artists on the album, and you have newcomers, the next generation, so to speak. And let me just pick out a couple of names here: Sizzla, Fantan Moja, Capleton, Black Hero, who's one of the upcoming artists from Jamaica, Turbulence, Mr. Savona. Who is, well, he's not such a newcomer anymore since he released quite a well-known album a couple of years ago. Asa Lineage is one of the young female roots artists. Fire Royal, Ninja Man. So it's really a very broad variety of artists. How did you get into contact with these guys in the first place?
Oh, you know, I mean, there's 100 different stories about how you find
maybe
these
you
artists.
could tell us one or two of the highlights.
Yeah, one of the, I guess, well, I'll tell you how I started. The first artist I recorded, the first artist for this album that I recorded was Fantan Moja. And the reason why I recorded Fantan Moja is because he grew up on the same street as one of the best friends of my girlfriend. So my girlfriend was in Jamaica as well as me, and she was learning dancehall dance. And so she was hanging out with a guy who's a famous dancer called Colo. And he grew up with Fantan Moja. And Fantan Moja linked me up with Capleton. So, basically, I recorded with Fantan Moja. Fantan Moja really liked the song I did with him, which is a song called No Surrender off the album. And then he told me to come and see him in the afternoon and told me to jump in a taxi. And when I jumped in a taxi and got out of the taxi on the other end at this house, and I walked into this garden of the house, it was Capleton's house. I didn't know I was going to Capleton's house. So that was my initial meeting with Capleton. And then I waited in the yard for Capleton to come home, essentially. And then I spent, the evening with Capleton just jamming in his yard, and we kind of wrote the lyrics and then later recorded No Surrender. So, that was, I guess you could call that a pretty organic way of kind of meeting probably one of my favorite artists, probably one of the bigger artists on the album. But a lot of it was fairly organic. A lot of it, the younger artists, we really sort of went out to try and provide a platform for a lot of those younger artists as well. Like show your artists like Black Hero and Yeza and Fire Royal and Ja Israel. A lot of these artists, we really wanted to put them on the album as well, because we just wanted to showcase this amazing new talent that often doesn't get doesn't get as big a spotlight as the rest of the artists. So yeah. But there's 23 artists on this album.
Yeah.
So many different artists, you know.
Yeah, and very different songs. Also different.
Very different.
Very different vibes in the music.
Yeah.
Survival is a must, I say you have to try out. Stacking up the paper, Babylon running and try to be a viper. So we tell them ease off hard songs, we squeeze off shillings. Them off for rice, them off for prosper. Hey, stacking up the paper, Babylon running and try to be a viper. So we tell them ease off hard songs, we squeeze off shillings. Them off for rice, them off for prosper. I say they make it so hard for us. Travel Babylon by bus. They make it so hard for us. Overcoming is a must. I say they make it so hard for us. Travel Babylon by bus. They make it so hard for us. Still, overcoming is a must.
Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the next track from the tough step of the Gideon, Gregory G. Ross, Wicked Man Intention. Listen to this one. Nice.
I promoting peace. Well, he sees upon the
ReggaeRoundUp live and direct from Hamburg City.
Dirty Babylon and try to fight us.
A warning to them war makers.
What he doing, man? Abadabang. Hey.
Wicked man intention, them a try to make a war. Tell them to stop them killing and destroying, them a gone too far.
Them a gone too far.
Wicked man intention, them a try to make a war. Too much blood I shed already, but them still want more. Still want more. Could it be IS or RUS, IDF, Hamas? One of the wicked one maker, them a real murderers. And try to hypnotize and terrorize and then murderers. And no fit trust, them too dangerous. Well, listen to the peaceful bongo natty. We tell you dash with the whole of them ways to the tip. Oh, what a thing, I'm only for calamity. Wicked man a danger to humanity. Wicked man intention, them a try to make a war. Tell them to stop them killing and destroying, them a gone too far.
Still one more.
Wicked man intention, them a try to make a war.
We don't wanna war.
Too much blood I shed already, but them still want more.
Hey, I me say, yo, them and them wicked man intention. Them no want no friend, man. Them a rob the granny and a take away your pension. Them a look at 10 grand, so them go kill about 10 man. Bun them boy, they cause of them create the tension. Did I forget to mention? You them need attention. All the way from Budapest, go straight back up to Senton. Rasta keep them head strong, got to keep your head strong. Rastafari govern this a throne, Babylon dead.
Wicked man intention, them a try to make a war.
Tell you, Jesus.
Tell them to stop them killing and destroying, them a gone too far.
Them and them dirty wire.
Wicked man intention, them a try to make a war.
Kick over Babylon, yeah, star.
Too much blood I shed already, but them still want more.
What is all them wicked so?
Every corner where them take you, say them tricking you.
And them rising up, them whip them fi come whipping you.
And them putting on them foot and say them tripping you.
And them want your family, them to be missing you.
And from the got the chance, they will be dissing you.
Rastafari said the others that we listen to.
And we bound the Babylonians and them flipping.
Mr. Gunman, what you gonna do?
Wicked man intention, them a try to make a war. Tell them to stop them killing and destroying, them a gone too far.
Jesus, I tell them now.
Wicked man intention, them a try to make a war.
Reggae G. Ross. Nice one, album's called 6 Million Ways to Dub. And here comes another track from this album. It's called Mighty Dread.
Oh, what a mighty dread. Sealer. Oh, what a mighty dread. Hey. Big up and we Rasta Idrin scene. We let Lilacs grow. We no want no come. We no need no scissor trim and no barber shop. Big up our Congo Bongo, natty dreadlock. We trod upon the righteous track. We want live vital, eat vital, live the spirit up higher, and spread the conscious message in this year. When we meet and greet, we salute with the lion paw, representing the most high power. Oh, what a mighty, oh, what a mighty, oh, what a mighty dread. Oh, what a mighty dread. A soldier of the army, ever ready for you all a man. Oh, what a mighty, oh, what a mighty, oh, what a mighty dread. Oh, what a mighty dread. A soldier of the army, with the green, gold, and red. In a me khaki suit and me Gideon boot, me come pitch and down Babylon and represent the truth. Big up all Rasta elders, all them Rasta youth, who know every time I salute. I'm militant, we militant, you can't hold me down. I singing songs of freedom, words of wisdom, we are chant. It's a good trend when the mighty Naya Bingy come around. Heroes, iron children, a sound. Oh, what a mighty, oh, what a mighty, oh, what a mighty dread. Oh, what a mighty dread. A soldier of the army, I've ready for all I'm mad. Oh, what a mighty, oh, what a mighty, oh, what a mighty dread. Oh, what a mighty dread. A soldier of the army, with the green, gold, and red. Dread, dread, dread. Oh, what a Rasta dread. Dread, dread, dread. Oh, what a mighty, oh, what a mighty dread. Dread, dread. Oh, what a Gideon dread. What's a dread, dread, dread. With the green, gold, and red. Oh, what a mighty.
Album is called 6 Million Ways to Dub. Track is called Mighty Dread. Mr. Tough Stabbers and Gregory G. Ross. Nice one. You listen to Visitor Radio live from Hamburg City. Are you ready for the third part of the interview? Here comes it.
Put on the gun now. A war. Prison on nice road, boy. Casket on nice. Tell him again.
So make me tell you this, badness is a risk. Finger on the trigger and you pull it and you miss it. Never firm in your face. You mash up all your wrists. Get wanted on the list. Your mother and your father, everybody you are this. Wanna be extortionist, wanna live big. And I kiss it up your teeth like it's a regular. But you are comfy me food and you're no business. But they better you cool, you fool. Cause
Left the war don't jump in. Because Babylon me bust out your head like a pumpkin. Yeah, I make me tell you something. You see the gun thing, I and a fun thing. Me sing again. They put the lead and the copper. Put down your knife and your chopper.
Good evening, listeners of Reggae Roundup. This is Matthias with the first interview in 2021, and his name is Monkey Mark. How did you go about production? Did you have was the music? Did you create that on your own, or did you create it with artists together? I would assume it was probably a mixture as well.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, I do all my own production. In fact, I'm sitting in my solar powered recording studio right now.
Yeah, we'll come to that in a minute.
Yeah. So I have drum machines and synthesizers and bass guitars and whatever else is, and reverbs and effects. So I do most of my production here and kind of pre-write most of the rhythm, so to speak, for the song, and then. Yeah, then with these artists, like I say, with Phantom Moja and Capleton and Sizzler, they really vibed on that particular rhythm. In fact, it's the first song they heard of mine from a folder I had of about 10 or 15 songs. So they wrote over that song, and of course, I adjusted the song later to sort of fit. And most of the artists, the process really was, they would hear the beat, hear the rhythm. If they liked it, then we would talk about, okay, let's think about what we can sing about. And then a lot of the next part of it really was me talking to them about what sort of topics I wanted to get covered on the album. Because, the album is fairly political in a way, and I think a lot of the lyrics are really strong. So, it was more about, really sort of keeping the album focused, keeping the message strong, keeping that whole, it's a vital sound, there's a vital message, these are vital times, that whole feel to the album as well.
Yeah, and you recorded the vocals in Jamaica, some of them, or in different places probably as well? Or did somebody come to Australia?
None were in Australia.
Okay.
I wish they were. It would have been a lot easier for me. To get to Jamaica from Australia is a long way. Yeah. We're a long way down south here. All of the vocals, apart from the English artists, so apart from people like Rico Dan, Killer P, Sum T and Ira, they were all recorded in the UK. But the rest of the artists, all the Jamaican artists, were recorded mostly in Kingston. Half of them were recorded when I was over there. So Sizzler, Capleton, Phantom Moja, Ninja Man, Ibama. I recorded all those guys in a bunch of studios in Jamaica when I was there. And then later on, over the next year or so, I then I would hire a studio out, and I had a person on the ground that would help me do all the artist liaison stuff. And we would record remotely. So they would record in the studio, and then the engineer would send over the vocal stems, and then I would mix it here in Australia.
Coming to you already mentioned the lyrics. And whilst I was preparing for the interview, I of course received a little bio now regarding the album too, some information about the album and about you. And I of course also checked your website. It appears that the message is of utter importance to you, which is there are different musical styles that focus on messages, but reggae is, of course, maybe most well known for the lyrics, having certain lyrical content, not only politically, but or political content, but also religious content. Although I think Rastafarians wouldn't like me to call it religious content, they will say it's about liberty. So what is your main focus when it comes to the lyrics?
I guess, for me, reggae really was always born in that political space, and always had that anti-authoritarian feel, and a real alternative political perspective as well. So, the album for me really it's I guess 2020, it's funny looking back on it now, and even just the last few days have just been wild. We just, we saw the outgoing US President Trump and the complete insanity of the last couple of weeks there, and the album was really written in that moment, and it was really, for me, I really felt that there was an urgency to get focused, strong, real, vital messages out there, because there was this, everything felt urgent for me with the rise of the alt-right and the social unrest, and then in the background you still had your climate change going on, and there was mass uprisings, whether they were like uprisings from the right or uprisings from the left. There was a lot of a lot of kind of chaos in the streets. So I think for me, really, the importance of the lyrics really hold true, because, I think more now than ever, it's vital to educate in history, and it's vital to elevate people in history, and it's vital to bring, facts and real things that people can focus on, and to deal with these, oppression and, climate change and all these global problems. And I just don't think there's enough political music. I don't think there's enough focus on that. And I also don't think there's enough music that can actually uplift people and give them strength to kind of move forward and stay focused and not get blindsided by all the chaos around them, just to stay kind of completely kind of 100%, sort of focused on the bigger picture. So, vital times need vital sounds.
I agree 100%. And this, what you were saying beforehand.
Next part in a few minutes. A guy with a melodica, RX. Track is called Moonshine. Tales of Melodica Moonshine. Here comes Mr. Archangel. One pay far. Listen to this one. Nice ReggaeRoundUp.
To me love indica, coulda marijuana, a cannabis sativa. Them never coulda take me ganja. Feel a little draw. To me love indica, Babylon pull over Rasta. Search up me car and find me stash. What? And them kind of office I want pay for. Hey, Babylon not take me ganja. Mr. Prime Minister, talking all the heads of government. A long time now, wanna free up the Rasta sacrament. Leave the poor people alone with your harassment. And the innocent you represent a parliament. Cannabis now make you stress, now make you discontent. Roll a spliff and take a whiff and listen discontent. 3 years for a spliff, I'll tell you what is my intent. To distribute the high grade regiment. Be a little draw. To me me love indica, coulda marijuana, a cannabis sativa. Them never coulda take me ganja, be a little draw. To me love indica, Babylon pull over Rasta. Search up me car and find me stash. What? A them kind of office I want pay for. Hey, Babylon not take me ganja. Rastafari is here. Take cloud ganja smoking at the atmosphere. Out equity work a wicked man beware. Burn them down to washes in a race career. Ancient Congo bongo Rasta man we not fear. Sight the burning bush and Rasta man make it beer. From the tree of renown, I and I a fish here. To the healing of the whole world, you hear. Hey, feel a little draw. To me love indica, coulda marijuana, a cannabis sativa. Them never coulda take me ganja, be a little draw. To me love indica, Babylon pull over Rasta. Search up me car and find me stash. What? A them kind of office I want pay for. Hey, Babylon not take me ganja. So no more hiding from the gully side. Are the laws of the most I Rasta man abide. Me pon me spliff cause I'm a herbalist anywhere I ride. With X amount of smoke it's hard to keep inside. Feel a little draw. To me love indica, coulda marijuana, a cannabis sativa. Them never coulda take me ganja. Feel a little draw. To me love indica, Babylon pull over Rasta. Search up me car and find me stash. What? A them kind of office I want pay for. Hey, Babylon not take me ganja.
Arcalegel, One Pay Fire. Here comes the B-side of the single, One Pay Fire.
me loving the cock.
Called AK in Jail. Track is called Wah Pay Fired Up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the last part of the interview. Monkey Mark from Australia.
A million days and number. I see them a fall and stumble. I heard them a ball and blunder. So easily they're going down. A million days and number. I see them a fall and stumble. I heard them a ball and blunder. So easily they're going down.
Good evening, listeners of Reggae Roundup. This is Matthias with the first interview in 2021. And his name is Monkey Mark. It brings me to your studio. You already mentioned that you have a solar-powered studio. Is it the only one in the world, or are you aware of other people who have one?
I think there must be. There'd have to be a few around now, wouldn't there? You'd think so. I mean, you know, we have this amazing technology around with us. So I would say, I mean, surprisingly, there's not a lot, you know, when you do say it like that. So, and even in Melbourne, I mean, I'm a rarity in Melbourne because I'm in the city, you know, I'm like in Melbourne City. I'm 5 kilometers from the city centre, and I have a solar-powered shipping container studio, which is pretty unusual for Melbourne itself. But it works, and I'm speaking to you right now from the solar-powered studio, sitting in a recycled shipping container that's all been decked out with all the sound gear. And then I have my trailer that comes along with it that's full of batteries. I got about a ton of batteries and 2.5 kilowatts of solar power. And I'm completely off the grid, 100% off the grid. I don't have to answer to anybody. No one can turn me off. I mean, if the sun doesn't shine for too long, I guess eventually I'll run out of battery.
That's the only risk.
Yeah, that's the only risk you got. Melbourne isn't the greatest for its weather either, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we can compare it to Hamburg, but it's definitely. I have a massive battery bank just in case for those long Melbourne cloudy days.
Okay,
but it works well.
It's a container, so you can take it anywhere you want to, right?
Yes.
So have you moved it around a lot? I mean, you probably haven't left Australia with it.
I haven't left Australia with the shipping container, but the shipping container's moved quite a bit. But the thing that moves more is the trailer that goes with it. So the trailer that goes with it, it is the power bank, so to speak, that powers the whole studio. But inside the trailer is my sound system. So I also run one of Australia's biggest solar-powered sound systems, and it's all hand-built. Me and 2 friends hand-built it, and that packs down almost like a modular-style system, and it packs into that trailer. So that travels everywhere. In fact, we have a show on the weekend. There's once a year, Australia so-called celebrates what they call Australia Day, but to the Indigenous Australians, it's not seen as a celebration. It's seen as a commemoration of when Australia was invaded and colonised. So we're doing a big show for that with our solar-powered sound system. But we go out to the desert. We do activist stuff right out in the middle of the Australian desert, blockading. In April, we're going out to blockade a uranium mine right out, 2,500 kilometres from Melbourne. So it gets out, we travel, and it does amazing things. And like I say, because it's completely powered by solar, we can be anywhere. We can put on parties for 500 people on a salt lake in the middle of the desert without any problem whatsoever.
And have you taken the sound system out of Australia before? I mean, not talking about the trailer now, but apart from that, do you do shows overseas as well? I mean, not now in the pandemic. It will be a little difficult, but
it will be difficult. Yeah. Well, we can't even leave Australia at the moment.
Yeah. Right. But did you do shows elsewhere before?
Not with the sound system, but myself. Yes, I've played. I've actually played in Hamburg. I've played in Berlin. I've played in Leipzig, all through Germany. I've played at the Fusion Festival, which is another one in Germany, and all over Glastonbury. All through France. I've played in a lot of places. I've played doing my own shows, and I've also toured with my political hip hop band Combat Wombat a lot through. In fact, through a lot of the underground squat network as well, just all through Europe. Yeah.
Okay, so if the pandemic is, well, maybe not over, but if it's, if people can start moving around again, will you be doing shows to promote the album?
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, as soon as I can. Yeah, I'm right up for that. I mean, I was about to, pardon me, I was about to do Glastonbury Festival last year when, everything got cancelled. So I was booked for that. So 100%, as soon as everything is safe and Australia will let me out and Europe will let me in, I will most definitely be touring the album. And hopefully, I think I would love to bring a Jamaican singer with me. But we'll see how we go. I mean, these days at this time, it's very hard to predict the future.
Right.
But I'm ready. I'm just sitting here waiting, ready for the call.
Let me repeat that the album is called Vital Sound. Where can the listeners find your music and find more information about you and what you do?
Yeah, so Vital Sound, you can if you want to download Vital Sound, you can go to my Bandcamp. And that's Monkey Mark with a C, and the album's called Vital Sound. And if, of course, I'm on Spotify as well. And if you want to see more about my music and also about my desert projects as well with Indigenous Australians, you can go to monkeymark.org. And I also have a Facebook and an Instagram. So my Facebook is Monkey Mark, and my Instagram is Monkey Mark Music, I think. Yeah, so I'm everywhere on all the platforms, apart from TikTok. I haven't started that yet.
And you're on YouTube as well. There are a lot of videos available.
Absolutely, yeah. You can check out. In fact, No Surrender has a video. Rebel Code has a video. We're just about to release a video, a couple more videos for the album over the next 3 months. So yeah, go check out my either my Monkey Mark on YouTube, or you can. I think I've got a bunch of stuff up on Reggaeville as well. Yeah, lots of music out there.
Great. So as usual, time does not allow us to go into further detail. I would have loved to speak about your non-musical projects that you were speaking about earlier, but maybe we have to postpone that till the next time. So left for me to say thank you and to wish you success with the new album. Well, some of the songs are already getting a lot of play and have been. No Surrender has been played a lot, massively, and downloaded, and lots of clicks and so on and so forth. And of course, we hope to see you and welcome you here in Germany in person, so to say, and then see how you promote the album when you're here yourself.
Yep. I'll be looking forward to it. Yeah, hopefully the world opens up again one day. Thanks for having me there.
Sure. Well, you're welcome, and thanks for sharing your time with me here on Reggae Roundup.
We say thank you, Mr. Monkey Mark, and thank you, Mr. Matthias, for this brilliant interview. Thank you for this.
Until I'm set to kick off the roof long time. 'Cause
So we're coming to an artist. It's called Mama Letta. Track is called You'll Never Know. It's on the album Green Line from Ezekiel Emil. Listen to this one. Nice. This album, you find this on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music and so on. Kill Aniel featuring Mama Letta, You Never Know. Album's called Green Line.
All the things you say and all those things you do, they might hurt us now, but in reality they all belong to you. You have to finally get it and open up, letting go of thoughts that are holding you back. Never know unless you cry. Never know unless you try.
We're coming to a gentleman. It's called Million Styles featuring Inner Vision. Waste no time. Album's called 2020 Visions.
Don't waste your time. Listen up, youth. Truth will set your finger on the fire.
You listen to ReggaeRoundUp live from Hamburg City. Greetings.
Incoming man card in a vision alongside when I Mr. Million Style. Talk to the youth.
Every time I take another breath, not unknown fear. To live another day and this your life. Opportunity can tighten up every connection and make us much stronger for the fight. Sometimes you need to roll that dice, no reward without risking. The right move, checkmate, you own the kingdom. You're giving a day to go, enjoy every moment. Well, might not be perfect, but just conquer. 110% me, I live. And every day I wake up, strive to live positive. We not gonna let them action take away from the vision. Well, my core reaction is my own intuition. La la la, 110% me, I live. And every day I wake up, strive to live positive. We not gonna let them action take away from the vision. Well, my core reaction is my own intuition. La la la, don't waste no time. Don't waste no time. 'Cause you never know just where you're at. No, 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 you never know just where you're at. No, don't waste no time. Don't waste no time. Yeah, 'cause you're never gonna get it back. No, 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 you're never gonna get it back. No,
Hey, living at the know you want to live in at the know. Life is a movie, you the star in at the show. Once you fear the Lord and give you wisdom to know what to do and where you really supposed to go. Some see life like a whole heap of time to kill. Judge our work never stops, so no time to chill. Laziness is just like
like a poisonous pill. Flesh is weak, but the spirit make you find your will. Do your daily duties and don't waste no time. Your eyes wide open, but you're gone like you're blind. Truth will set you free while the devil keep blind. I know life rough, but you got to keep trying. Cause you will never get back the time when you lost. So better praise and show up with time on the cross. The only one perfect without any flaws. Keep your commandments and laws. When you rise in the morning, you have to give thanks for life. Don't bother idle and waste your time. Listen up, youth.
Don't waste no time. Don't waste no time. Cause you never know just where you're at. No, no, no. You never know just where you're at. No. Don't waste no time.
One life to live is our
Don't waste no time.
Our Pascal 2020 vision of Mr. Million Stars and Innovation. Waste no time. And we're coming to Peter Yudman. And the track is called Far West.
Cherry baby the bombs can you know Amba gang what da dang gang it name Cherry baby the bombs gang on the road say Peter you there on the mic talking sometimes me DJ sometimes me sing anything me do me have to do it with feeling watch this
ReggaeRoundUp.
And I listen Peter you there on the mic a doing thing along with Roland make a judge and know we no low of faith anytime we come fi carry the swing. If a sound try this him a go dead at the ending. Go tell him that the one ya man they come fi run thing. Along with the you they run the mic again. Guess you never know lad me come fi run things. Gonna Scotland a Germany me touring. Gonna Brittany me gonna suffer do me thing. Go on no logo with Kenny Knots and thing. And with legal shot the king sound system. My best lyrics me talk them fi me brethren. In case you never know a role and the man name. Anyway we go jam and we increase we fame. Coulda people them know say we not tame. Right you know jam and we come here so fi roll the game. And with Peter you there on the mic him no limit name. Come catch your style, style when me bring me. Come catch your style it's a the new hint thing you know. Come catch your style me say style when me bring me. Come catch your style it's our revival thing. And along with all and it's a the king in a the ring. Along with Peter you there on the mic tackling. Sometimes me DJ, sometimes me sing. Anything me do me have to do it with feeling. Gonna Switzerland it was a whole BF thing. Come back to me country do some recording. Head to Brittany because me check me brethren. Roll on record of the upcoming thing. Along with Peter you there on the mic tackling. Sound try test but them not say a thing. Tell them that the one ya come fi do the teaching. Style where we bring it in a magazine. Not gonna stop fire it until we empty the thing. Along with a youth because you come fi run things. Gonna Switzerland, Germany me touring. Gonna England, Scotland, Mungo sting. All of the people them rock and come in. In the Atlantic we not stop swim. Now a summertime and we enjoying. Drink Center One, we no drink Heineken. Cause they don't know Heineken, lad, it full of poison. Medicine and poison and poison. And if you're idle, you can't hit no chicken. Nah hit no pork, we say neither pigeon. As a Rasta man, you have to well disciplined. When you not choose them road, they do not bother complain. Enough cut the boat, none of them not the same. Right and no jam and mess like a burning flame. Sun try test them, I go look too lame. Tell them that they want ya judge, you know it can't tame. No sound in the work can make we feel shame. Right and no jam and we name gone round the lane. Next thing we do lad, we ready for run the game. Along Peter you because you know you're not it name. Style, me say that we are bring you know. Style, lad, it a the end thing it name. Style, lad, that we are bring. In case you never know it, our revival thing. Cause right you know jam and we come for flash smuggling. The girls in the place, them not stop bubbling. Alright you know jam and them just a short free with name. Them no say roll and make because them afraid acclaim. Dance nowadays, them all sound the same.
Mr. Peter Yudman, Far West. Here comes another track. Hold on, pull up. Peter Yudman.
So my selector right now, guess what you feel do? You just and I'm gonna dump for me, you better, and I'm gonna dump for me, and I'm gonna dump for me, come for create this. And I'm gonna dump for me, them off it, and I'm gonna dump for me. Now Twitter, you in a category. As you sit on top of the rhythm and you sit down properly, and I give them multiple lyrics that enough quantity. But in case you never know me, give them enough quality, and that's why the people them request me. So me say, and I'm gonna dump for me, you better, and I'm gonna dump for me, and I'm gonna dump for me in a no style. And I put it up for me, you'd better, and I put it up for me. Now Twitter, you're in a category. I mean, I go tell the youth, say buy no Glock nor Uzi. For us, them do that it is a waste of money. And go buy way 45 and LP. Cause right now, German, we come for promote unity. We want to see the youth, them a act wisely. Shake one another hand and a talk nicely. So me give them conscious lyrics, me say regularly. I don't know like that, they know I feel listen to me. So me say, I put it up for me, them off it, I put it up for me. I put it up for me in a no style. I put it up for me, them off it, I put it up for me.
Mr. Peter Yudman, I love this style. Here comes Forward Ever Band. Life is a rocky road. Listen to this one. I almost got Forward.
Well, if no matter if you reach
Roots Rock Reggae here live on Visitor Radio. Reggae Roundup, we call it Reggae Wednesday.
Life it is a rocky road. But if no matter if you reach up your course, say life it is a rocky road. And I worth it more than diamonds and gold, yeah. Every mickle make a muckle, but a life a come first. Babylon a fi see the problem, now we fighting for your cause. When judgment a come, me know them a fi buy the dust. In a this your system, me know se fight it is a must, yeah. Step forward, cause we not need them dirty money. We jam me secure when me a walk down the alley. Many problems, but I job me does a cali. We not trust nothing at the evil laws. Life it is a rocky road. Well, if no matter if you reach up your force, say life it is a rocky road. And I worth it more than diamonds and gold, yeah. Life it is a rocky road. Well, if no matter if you reach up your force, say life it is a rocky road. And I worth it more than diamonds and gold, yeah. And you better put down the clock and ease up the quartz, cause we not go need more of it. Make them know that we no skylar, we feet bandita, higher so we keep it solid. Peace and love, so we have it in a it. Well, I conscious music is a data for me thing. Life it no easy, but you have it treading. Me still I keep thanks to the Almighty King. Me still I come through many problems every day. Me say 24/7 music in a for me being. All a little vibe and everything fade away. All a little vibe and live your life right away, yo. A pure loving, that's where the people in need. A pure loving, that's where the people them want. Loving, that's where the people them need. A pure loving, hey. Life is a rocky road. Well, if no matter if you reach up your poor, say life is a rocky road. And I worth it more than diamonds and gold, yeah. Life is a rocky road. Well, if no matter if you reach up your poor, say life is a rocky road. And I worth it more than diamonds and gold, yeah. Me wonder why them put me down if I'm protected by the most high ground, yeah. Me wonder why them put me down. Well, if I'm protected by the most high ground, yeah. Hey. Step forward, cause we not need them dirty money. We jam is secure when me a walk down the alley. Many problems, but I jam it does a galley. We not trust nothing at the evil laws. Life it is a rocky road. Well, if no matter if you reach up your poor, say life it is a rocky road. And I worth it more than diamonds and gold, yeah. Life it is a rocky road.
Forward Ever Band. Life is a rocky road.
It's a
a rocking road. And I'm working more than diamonds and gold, yeah. And I'm working more than diamonds and
From the album 2020 Vision, here comes Kanaka One, Pay No Mind.
In the place.
Yeah, man.
Youths around the corner looking at it cause them a pagan. Anything to them belly, they will do some play with caution. Roughing at the streets, especially after dark when night come. 6 o'clock face, 12 o'clock, them have a problem. When the night sky cover black, life is a necessity. Some them have to fire back and the Glock is now the remedy. When you walk the block, you go seek and find. The cost of life is cheap, them not pay no mind. Them pay no mind. Them pay no mind. Them pay no mind. Them pay no mind. Pollution cloud your brain, hold your breath and never go falter. Embrace this stop pain, just like wine and bread at altar. Just not check against a plan and next move. Pay attention to the sign and synchronize your more. When the night sky cover black, life is a necessity. Some them have to fire back, and the Glock is now the remedy. When you walk the block, you will seek and find. The cost of life is cheap, them not pay no mind. Them pay no mind. Them pay no mind. Oh, them pay no mind. Yeah, them pay no mind. 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 Can't bother watch this. Might just send with the kids. Can I come on, chant about culture and the rest? Watch the money
They pay no mind, Lord, they pay no mind. See conscious shoot running up the front line. They pay no mind, Lord, they pay no mind. See punish are those who have to get out of line. And when they come to life, there must be a thin line. Youth man pan the corner with them fi commit crime. And now another youth man getting chalked in a line. Tell me, Almighty Father, what has come on mankind? Don't let Lucifer try and change your design. Stand firm, Lord, we stand guard at all times. And when you realize there's no pay up in a crime, you'll find Jaja light right in your man's rhymes. When you search for Jaja, you will see Jaja, I'm the weapon of the M16. When you search for Jaja, you will find. So mix me up, operator, make me tell them one time. Lord, they pay no mind, they pay no mind, they pay no mind, no make them know. See, watch where you step with the tight stay low. One, they pay no mind, they pay no mind, they pay no mind, no make them know. Wickedness could never be more, better stay humble. And take it from Kanaka as your mic can see. And surely goodness and mercy follow me. We chant a psalm a day and praise the Almighty. We sit up in the life and we have no worry. We slice out your evil like fresh sashimi. Cause life is so sweet like a tangerine tree. And love is found its way to live in everybody. In a vision and Kanaka gone to touch the country.
One is called Kanaka One, Pay No Mind. Here comes Farrington Murray.
Do it, Connects. Hey. Lost me love on Farrington Highway. Lost me love on Farrington Highway. Me never get her back, she have to take the HG. She gone with her lover, but the lover ain't me. Lost me love on Farrington Highway. Lost me love on Farrington Highway. Me never get her back, she have to take the HG. She gone with her lover, but the lover ain't me. When me search my couple, who must have searched Sandy's. Me search for the girl with the natural beauty. She must have gone deep in the country. Wow. She must have gone deep in the country. When me say love is all me got, and me say love is all me bring. And love is just a thing that make the birds them sing. But now they don't sing because you're packed and living. And now they don't sing because me heart you're breaking, Lord. Lost me love on Farmington Highway. Push it. Lost me love on Farmington Highway. She never come back, she have to take the H3. She gone with another, but the lover ain't me. Searching a city, me fi search a country. Searching a mountain, me fi search by the sea. Me search for the girl, search for me lady. She wrote me a letter that she never loved me. The all me want fi do go on my knees and pray. Me pray for the day to wipe me sorrows away. But yet, still me are the boss DJ. Lord, I said still me are the boss DJ. See, lost me love on Farmington Highway. Me lost me love on Farmington Highway. She went to H2 but really went to H3. She gone with another but the lover ain't me. Lost me love on Farmington Highway. Me tell you, lost me love on Farmington Highway. She never come back, she must have went Kali. She gone with another but the lover ain't me. Make me H-O-N-I honey. P-U-L-I-K-I P-O-L-I-K-U. I make me H-E-N-O-N-O-U. Lord of His mercy. Cause love is on me, bring her to the rocking and swing. And some of them I know me just go ride it with them. They want to love up and love it on quick.
Dub version.
Connect. Hey. Lost me love on Farmington Highway. Lost me love on Farmington Highway. She gone with her lover, but the lover ain't me. Search Macapo, must I search Sandies? Gone deep in the country. Wow. Lost me love on Farmington. Me searching a city, me fi search a country.
One is God, come on. Track is God, Farrington Highway, Dub Vision. And here comes Panarafi, Brimstone and Fire.
Brimstone and fire.
Babylon Rhythm. You listen to Visa on Radio, ReggaeRoundUp.
What you gonna do when the time runs out on you? when everybody turn their back on you? Where you gonna hide when your excuse runs dry? Wicked man, better run, run, run as fast as you can. You better run, run, run as fast as you can. No more tricks, I say. You better run, run, run as fast as you can. You better run, you better run. You better run, run, run as fast as you can. News media a flash, and the people just a dash. False rumor and corruption spread across the land. Visualize it, all my sisters, and recognize it, my brothers. For the day that judgment come, wicked men run. Yeah, run, run, run as fast as you can. You better run, run, run as fast as you can. No more tricks, I say. Yeah, you better run, run, run as fast as you can. You better run, you better run. You better run, run, run as fast as you can. No more tricks, I say.
Brimstone and fire.
Brimstone and fire. Brimstone.
Of the bubbling rhythm.
He dug a rug. You better run. He dug a rug. You better run.
Hier comes Mr. Shiner McGregor on the Rhythm Rider Stylie.
Well, it's got the musical thing called the original Rhythm Rider style. Anything young cow touch it can't spoil. Flash it. Well, I've been riding rhythm for a long time. I've been a rhythm rider for a long time. Long time. Long time. Rhythm rider style. The rhythm rider style. Well, watch out, come follow me. Ride with him, that one your name, ride with him. Chino, I go show them how to ride with him. One case of Guinness, case of Heineken. Selector, kick it off, let the vibes begin. Hey, gate man, beg you, let me hygiene in. From Chino in the dance, the girl, them finding him. Me there with a half black, half China thing. Girl, tick up like she reside inside the gym. Thief in the dance, nobody fight with him. Cause they sit me up design for poison skin. Musical mama drop is like we fly the pin back to the chorus. I begin me sing. Well, I've been riding rhythm for a long time. I've been a rhythm rider for a long time. Long time. Long time. Rhythm rider style. The rhythm rider style. Well, watch it, me sit down pon the rhythm like a bird in a nest. Under me button collar spring shirt is a mesh. The dance full of girl in a skirt in a dress. Well, here come the soup in a shirt in a vest. Them say the Rasta man know him a work, him a step. Them a watch and I guess I must see herb in my breast. Them plan up on a decide fi circle in my dress. Not the dread Babylon can't serve him a rest. The world a level, me say the earth is a mess. Well, I tell herb, me no burn cigarette. Pagan a send them words in a threat. Wanna be get wallaby desert in a chest. Watch out, no we can't stand firm in a days. We think a shatter that a confirm, so we bless. Good life we not have no urge for your stress. Anything we deserve are the best. Oh yes, well I've been riding rhythm for a long time. I've been a rhythm rider for a long time. Long time. Long time, rhythm rider style. The rhythm rider style, yeah. It name rhythm rider style, oh. The rhythm rider style, yeah. It name rhythm rider style, Lord. The rhythm rider style, yeah. Me say rhythm rider style, oh. With name rhythm rider style, yeah. The rhythm rider style, hey. The rhythm rider style.
nice one. Shiny McGregor, Rhythm Rider style. And here comes Mr. Chip Chan. When you say nothing at all. Album's called Papa Roscoe.
Can speak right to my heart. Comes a lyric like your mind. Love you until the end of time. Without saying a word, you can light up the dark. Never met no one like you. Promise that I'll be true. Try as I might, I can never explain what I hear when you don't say a thing. The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'd never leave me. A touch of your hand says you'll catch me if ever I fall. You say it best when you say nothing at all. You say it best when you say nothing at all. All day long, I can hear people talking out loud. Every girl I love you so, never ever ever gonna let you go. But when you hold me near, you drown out the crowd. Love you so much, you see, always want you here beside me. Oh, Mr. Webster could never define what's being said between your heart and mine. The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's a truth in your eyes saying you'd never leave me. A touch of your hand says you'll catch me if ever I fall. You say it best when you say nothing at all. The smile on your face lets me know that you need me. There's truth in your eyes saying you'd never leave me. A touch of your hand says you'll catch me if ever I fall. Yeah, you say it best when you say nothing at all. 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 Nothing at all.
Papa Roscoe featuring Chip Chan. When you say nothing at all. And here comes the one and only Mr. U-Roy Herbstfield featuring Dwayne Duncan, aka Bushman.
Sanction, Mr. Babylon, one question. Hit me through the sunshine, the rain for the Pharisees.
Rest in peace, Mr. U-Roy. Rest in peace.
Hit me in a cold night treetop. I'll be watching by your feet.
Yes, we have this pipe on them.
Hit me through the sunshine, the rain for the Pharisees. That's where I'll always be.
No, we don't want them touch with her.
Hit me in a cold night treetop. I'll be watching by your feet. I walk your way as a farmer. And the hills me jam, and a cool out, and a farm some land. Still I see I know, me nah go afraid. I know way, as me drop to, stick a ganja plant. Babylon come, reap out where they want. Still I see I know, me nah go afraid. No way.
So Mr. Babylon, I want make you know leave this NC man, yo. Yes, Mr. Babylon. Why don't you leave the Rasta man? You know, herb is the healing of the nation. Yes, and it will ease the frustration. It is the healing of the nation. Yes, it they are from creation.
See that patch day, it Put a indica and a patch day. Eat a gambula and a patch over there. Alaska.
Not sure nothing.
I work so hard just to get my pay. At the end of the day, this is what I see. Babylon come in to take off my weed. Hey.
Don't miss a Babylon. Why make you no left the Rasta man, yo? Yes, me say miss a Babylon. Yes, me make you believe this NC man. Hey, hey, hey. Don't miss a her body healing of the nation. Yes, I'm not just one nation. Yes, it they are from creation. For every generation.
As a farmer, in the hills me jam. And a cool out, and a farm some land. Still I see I know, me nah go free.
Back off, y'all.
As me drop to stick a ganja plant. Babylon come, reap out where they want. Me nah give them no chance, no way.
So me say fi back with Babylon, oh way. Yes, you have to run with Babylon, oh way. Yes, me have to back with Babylon. Back off, y'all. You fi run with Babylon. And I miss a Babylon. Why don't you leave this NC man, yo? Say miss a Babylon. I want make you not left the Rasta man. Hey, hey, hey.
Easy road man, protect the Uganda plan. No big no Babylon, come be out where they
now do that, Miss Babylon.
Protect the Uganda.
Say nothing no love that.
No Babylon.
Who is say nothing no want that. Wow. And the healing of the nation. Yes, and the now generation.
Free there.
Yes, from creation to creation. Exactly where I'm gonna be.
Me in a boat and treat up. I'll be watching my feet.
Now with the order. Here comes the Simplicity signatures. He wants bring back the vibes. Yeah. Listeners want.
Music we give the people that we never feel. Dance all I go nice again. So you can tell your friend to meet I out on the ends. We gonna string up the sound and play some Dennis Brown and we just watch how the people gather round. Play three alternatives, let them move up them pelvis. Them never hold a joy like this. Shock them with 1,000 volt off the late great John Holt. Make them move fast like Usain Bolt. Lord, bring back the vibe, is the signal. Bring back the vibes, chose a winner. Bring back the vibes, Lord. Bring back the dancehall vibes.
Say girl your bank book no waffy wealthy, but your body healthy. Pop out your phone, girl, take another selfie. Slide like Rihanna, then you whine like Beyonce. Show the man them you know fi tickle them fancy. Hey, go on your head, girl, mind you broke your nose. Dance all this and you know come your Sophie pose. Wind up your body, girl, you fresh like a rose. Touch your toes when you dance, your beauty expose. Go there, girl.
Bring back the vibe, is the signal. Bring back the vibes, chose a winner. Bring back the vibes, Lord. Bring back the dancehall vibes.
Alright, me see man in the pants and woman in a frock. Place jam pack from the front to the back. Me no matter what them want, say the phone can't stop. People a get a gun from both when I crack. Reggae music that play on the whole place a rock. Busy signal and the kernel, they up on the spot.
Yes, we want to see the fans them, wave them reggae hands them, sing the reggae songs them like a reggae anthem. To all my reggae friends them, show them that me love them. Here come busy signal and Josie again. Hey, bring back the vibe, busy signal. Bring back the vibes, Jose William. Bring back the vibes, Lord. Bring back the dancehall vibes. Dancehall I go nice again, so you can tell your friend to meet I out on the ends. We gonna string up the sound and play some Dennis Brown and we just watch how the people gather around.
We're back next week. Yes. Have a nice week. We're back the next time. Here on Visador Radio, Reggae Roundup, next Wednesday. Thank you.
Bring back the vibe, is the signal. Bring back the vibes, Jose William. Bring back the vibes, Lord. Bring back the dancehall vibes.
Say girl your bank book now I feel wealthy, but your body healthy. Pop out your phone, girl, take another selfie. Slide like Rihanna, then you wine like Beyonce. Show the man them you know fi tickle them fancy. Hey, cup on your